According to Accenture Research experts, artificial intelligence should double the rate of economic growth by 2035, contributing to the evolution of working methods and creating new relationships between people and machines. It is estimated that as a result, the efficiency of enterprises will increase up to 30% and will enable employees to use their time more efficiently. Today, my guest is Kosma Kindlik, founder and CEO of ofCosmoEYE. We will talk about the practical applications of AI in the industry, and we will see how AI is changing the Polish market. Welcome to Business Focus program run by Poland Weekly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you here. A very interesting and up-to-date topic. I think, the fourth industrial revolution is with us for a long time, but we have to move from talking to practical implications. So this is a great moment to talk about what your company is offering and how we can implement it on the Polish market. But maybe before we start, can you briefly introduce yourself and the company, please?
My name is Kosma Kindlik, and I'm a founder and CEO of ofCosmoEYE. We created the firm at the beginning of the current year as a startup supported by Arkley Bring Venture Capital Fund, but also under the roof of Polish Development Fund. My partner in business is Mr. Kamil Dudek. Our idea from the scratch was to develop a software solution using AI engine working on live streaming from industrial cameras in order to detect events defined by managers. For example, no activity, person in prohibited zone, theft suspicion, no protection known, but also more complicated schemes like, for example, lean aspects as chaos, no chaos, and so on. Detect events and report them to responsible managers in real time, also on mobile app. ofCosmoEYE, as a firm, is a team of experts coming from business side, technical schools, and software houses. This is a very healthy and efficient solution and mixture. We understand AI and we know how to cope with it, but also are able to produce applications that are easy in use. And last but not least, we know how to market our solutions.
Well, great. And it's good news that, behind every technology, there are humans. So let's start with the broader question about Industry 4.0 in Poland. We used to talk about it in terms of the future, but the future is now. So tell me, looking at Poland, do you see the readiness to implement AI solutions in the industry sector?
It's a very general question, but I would like to tell you a couple of words about my opinion on Industry 4.0 in general. I think Industry 4.0 is a very extreme and pure idea. You can shorten to a simple claim, all digital, all in real time. I don't think it's possible to implement Industry 4.0 as a total solution in all business aspects. It's my private opinion. But it's worth to try, at least in the core business and main process streams. As we look at, for example, automotive industry, airspace industry, military industry, some other sophisticated ones, they are examples of branches that are quite close to this ideal. And the rest, in my opinion, is ready for less total, more island solutions. And I think that in Poland, there are exquisite firms in Poland, especially in industrial sectors. And they can be examples for the whole Europe, how to implement Industry 4.0. They are also perfect in it. But I think that some traditional Polish firms could have problems with managing those aspects and implementing Industry 4.0, mainly because of some, how shall I put it, some problems with corporate culture and general organization. But I am pretty sure they will make up for lost time and they will join the party.
But what role do you see to play in shaping the market as ofCosmoEYE, looking at all the potential on the market?
We do not have any sophisticated mission. We would like to use the existing CCTV installations, so industrial cameras, working all over the clock, producing terabytes of never-seen video materials for our AI engines that should search for critical events and inform managers in real time. Just this, only this. We would like to make a normal business more safe and more smoothly working. By using our active functions, we are able to reduce claims. Critical cost factor in e-commerce that is growing immensely, especially in our times because of COVID, because of separation, sitting at home, looking for goods in computer, buying e-commerce and so on. So we can reduce claims. You would like to cooperate with the existing systems as ERP, WMS, so warehouse management systems, business process management systems, and others. They have digits and processes, and we have pictures and films. The case is for now that these two words, they are separated. We would like to close them. We would like to make them closer, and we would like to join them. To put it briefly, we would like to create a new standard of everyday use of AI for business, especially in the aspect of computer image. So pictures and films together with digits. That's our mission.
Well, that sounds good, and actually it answers quite well to the demand that still, according to all the statistics we have and the forecast, it will be growing. You mentioned e-commerce. Just yesterday I was on the logistics conference, and actually it was international conference, and there was a question, okay, so where are you going to build today some new plants or on the industry facility? Or so it will be probably CE region, and Poland has a big chance in this piece of cake. So I believe that some process will need to speed up. I understand that your solutions answer this demand. But when looking at these digital solution providers, do you think that this market is competitive currently?
It's a strange situation. It's on one hand, on one side, it's very competitive, especially in governmental and public sector, especially in military sector, all sections. But as it comes to a normal, simple business, I don't think it's very competitive. The market seems to be still the blue ocean for me. Of course, it differs from country to country, especially United States. They are very, very, very far away in those aspects. Right now, contrary to what we think, Ukraine is also extremely ahead because they use artificial intelligence to fight against the enemies. And there are thousands of people, engineers, AI engineers, working with drones to destroy Russian tanks, and they are ahead because they are practitioners. Mm-hmm. But as it comes to a normal business, talking with normal business people, there is a great need, but no solution, no ready solution. Mm-hmm. Even if solution, maybe island solution, small solution, but suppose you have 200 cameras, nobody will help you. We know the solution.
Mm-hmm. Well, talking about military, I think that was always the case, that some of the technologies came from this sector, military sector, and then they were spread out to different business areas. So I think that's quite a known way to go. So, well, please tell us something more about specifically CosmoEYE. What's the competitive advantage of your solution on the market?
The most important thing that our solution is very simple for a user. Though it has a quite complicated structures under cover of its engine, it can be easily used, easily implemented. We have about 20, maybe 30 events, static and dynamic ready in our system. And statistically, they cover like 50-60% of the needs. So just to choose your events, your critical events, and we are ready to implement. The adjustment is also, we are talking about artificial intelligence. It's like that. If you would use our system in your firm, it will take like maybe 2 weeks to learn the context, because we are talking about machine learning. It adjusts itself. From the scratch, it will have the probability of finding the event like 50-60%. Maybe at the end of the day, 70-80%, it's quite enough. So it adjusts itself, but also using it, it improves. For example, today you have white hair or blonde hair. Tomorrow you have changed the red one, however, and it has to learn you each day, and it learns. I think it's very, very important. Last but not least, we would like to as I said before, we would like to join ERP, WMS, so all of the IT software, classical software, with so bringing you digits, processes. We would like to join with pictures and films. I have told you about it, but it's also a very great advantage. Nobody is working on it. Either digits and films, or either digits and processes, or films and photos, and we would like to join it. It's a very competitive factor, I think. But also our unique proposal is based on solutions for a very simple companies. We have, like on Allegro, we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are selling things in small firms, small companies, there and back. You have milliards going there and back. And we have a very simple solution where by 1 hour, a couple of clicks, you can join your camera to the cloud, to our system, and we can help you govern packing process and shipping process, and especially fight or reduce claims factors or KPIs. So I think this is the most basic strengths of our solutions, and I think that we are coming from business. We are not coming purely from software. It's a mixture, as I said. We thought about our product for 20 years, developed it in 4 months, and the most important things that we know the processes of and problems of our customers, and in a way their need was our need, 2 months ago, as we were pure business, not software company. That's it. I think you can find only a couple of firms thinking in this philosophy as we do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's very important, because, to know exactly what are the processes for implementing solutions in the companies, because at the end of the day, you can have a brilliant idea, but if the process is too complicated and it's not actually well addressed by the provider, then pain points appear, let's name it this way. Well, great. So can you give us some examples, yes, of the practical implementation of your solutions?
I would like to give you the simplest possible example that I have in my head right now. We use our system for a company that is a sweet producer. Sweet producers exploded in e-commerce during the pandemic time. There are 2-3 goods that were booming during the pandemic, and amongst them were sweets, chocolates, stuff like that. And everybody sitting at home just ordered in internet a couple of this sweets, a couple of this sweets, a couple of that sweets. And the margin was sky high. People were bored at home and they said, but I didn't want 5 pieces of that. I wanted 4 pieces of that and 6 pieces of that, and claims, problems. And we implemented Kosma in the simplest possible active solution, and we reduced the claims by 90%. Also, we use the same solution for FMCG, selling perfumes and stuff like that. Small items that for the packer, they look very likely, but for the customer, it's a great difference whether you get your Chanel or something else. Huh? Chanel is better than something else, of course. And claims. And by this system, we just reduced the claims by 90%. It was a great success. Of course, we are talking about not maybe sophisticated artificial intelligence, but still, I think it's good to start with such cases. People understand and buy the idea.
Well, I don't think that, every business is about being sophisticated. I think it has to meet the demand and answer some problem that is defined, and I believe that here we have the case. And the advantages seems to be quite rational. So on the other hand, do you see that companies are ready to implement, they are open to implement such a solution, or it's like a long-term process to explain them the advantages of what they will achieve from that?
We are talking from the starting of our company. We talked with about, 100, maybe 200 businesses, and they We started with the packages, with the solutions, maybe those more sophisticated, and they were listening, and then they asked, and could you do this and that? And you couldn't imagine what people think AI can do. They think that if they have a marriage problems, AI can solve it. We are not experts in this, I said. We are talking about business, industrial production, maybe packing, stuff like that. So they are very ready. If you listen to them, you have to listen to the business, and you have to listen to the needs. If you listen to the needs, in each meeting, in each business meeting, sales meeting, we have found at least one solution for their problems. But the case is that they are ready, but they don't know what AI can do for them. There are a lot of myths in this realm. You have to bring them the knowledge, you have to be the expert, you don't have to force them. And I think that then they are very ready.
Okay, so anyway, I think that as I understand from what you are saying, the key to success is actually to show exactly how this specific technology will help them to solve the daily problems they have at their sites, yes, and then they see the benefits, but it has to be very specific regarding their specific situation. Okay, and are there any barriers when you talk to the clients, because the advantages, yes, we already talked about it, they are quite obvious. Then they see the process that it can actually answer some of the pain points they have in their company. But are there any barriers that they are defining in processing this solution?
I'm afraid there are. For me, the basic barrier is fear. Fear is the basic barrier.
Okay.
Fear that this existential fear that we have right now, uncertain future, war, pandemic time, inflation, regression, and so on and so on. And people, even if, because, money is not a problem in itself, because if you have a payback period like in 1, 2, maybe 3 years, it is an investment. It's a pure investment. Sometimes even payback period is less than 1 year. So money is not a problem. It finances itself, you can say. The problem is the fear to spend money at all. This is the first basic problem, and it's overall. We all feel it. I also. Me also. The second problem or barrier is we lived 20 years in the realm in times of EU funds, European funds flowing in, and so on and so on. A lot of money for growth, a lot of money for IT, for software, for digitalization. Right now, it's stopped. We have some possibilities, but I think as soon as this blockage will be out from this hard stuff, blockages, and we can go further. Also with other different softwares, not only Kosma or AI in business. Fear is fear. We have to work it out. We have to, believe in future that it will be good. And we have to believe in digits at the end of the day. ROE, return on investment. This is the key.
Yeah, of course, I understand that you are referring to, in general, the sentiment among investors, businesses to invest in general. And of course, it's obvious that with the inflation, war, and all the issues and challenges that we are facing, investments are something that can be frozen for a while. But at the same time, I think the situation we are all facing is not very short, unfortunately, period of time. So I think that, as usually, business after a certain time is adjusting to the situation, and it has to make the decision. And as usually the business is driven by the growth, I think that, is investing in a solution that can help to speed up the growth or make it more sustainable seems to be in place. Anyway, I will ask this question about the future. Maybe you mentioned a little bit of that, but let's look into the future. So how would you see the further development of this market in Poland?
Not only in Poland, I would say it's very general. We all live, right now we are in teams, without camera, We had problems with microphones, cameras, we know about it. Without this technology, no future. It is fast, it is very, on one hand, exciting. We can meet with people all over the world at the same time, in different time zones and so on. No future without cameras, I think. No future without streamings. Right now, only right now, there are millions of cameras in the world, and they are working nearly in all companies, also in small ones, in small businesses. I don't know a lot of businesses without cameras. I can show you an example. In an average logistical center, there are round about, not very big, very large logistical, around about 100 cams that are working on 100 cameras. They generate about 80 terabytes of data per month. It's incredible. You know, nobody is looking at them. What for? They are, at the end of the day, they work as you know, as something artificial. Whether it makes films or not, it doesn't matter. Only the workers or employers, they have to know there is a camera, but is it working, not working? How many people do you need to have these streams under control? 100 cameras, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year. How many people? 100 people. It is proved scientifically that after half an hour, if you look at 9 cameras at the same time, your perception goes down with like 60%. What is at the end of the day? You see nothing. You see your firm being stolen. You see a lot of things that are not proper. What in this place? I think artificial intelligence is the only solution. So generally speaking, fear or not fear, the market will explode. Only we have, generally speaking, we have a little bit more important issues to concentrate on, like war and so on, but whatsoever.
Well, I think that's a very good remark that will change in a positive direction, I guess, because from what you are saying is actually a little bit missed opportunity for the companies that already have this whole equipment in terms of videos and image facilities, yes, and they are just not collecting data. And let's be honest, that also it's not only about the images or the videos, but in general, data is a key to run a business nowadays. Oh. And if we're gonna move to another concepts which are being implemented on the market, like ESG, which of course has a lot of KPIs and so on, I think that, you know, any data that can help you to be more productive, more efficient is something to think about it in terms of applying in the company.
We have also, apart from computer image, we have also another, let's say, business unit we would like to develop in the nearest future, here or there, so to say. There are many megawatts of energy inflowing from different systems, not only from power processing plants, but also from all those installations that we have on our homes and so on. And how can you optimize, how can you balance the energy? And we are talking about milliards at the end of the day, not only Poland, all over the world. And artificial intelligence, if you can only measure it, and we know this technology how to measure, artificial intelligence can adjust the system, can save money at the end of the day, and save energy, save money. I think this is the future, because you asked me about the future. This is also the future, especially in nowadays or tomorrow.
Yeah, so, we'll be finishing our conversation. Thank you very much for this. So my one takeaway would be that we start from artificial intelligence as a solution, as a product, but at the end of the day, we have a takeaway, which is optimization on every aspect of the business. This is something that everyone has to take into account, I believe.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.